All right, water signs, let's go. This first one's going to be for Cancer. Let's see what we can get for you guys for this upcoming week. I'm going to try to do these a lot shorter, maybe if I can. And then we'll keep it pushing during the week and do some additional exploration in other areas if possible. It just kind of depends. These cards, I swear, they just fly everywhere. They go wherever they want. Let's see what comes out though. I'm going to take this one. All right, so we've got intuition, got the title card reversed. Okay, these are really hard to shuffle. So I'm just going to take that one. Okay, and then we've got the four forces, electromagnetism. So what I'm seeing here is that somebody may intuitively know that there's not going to be a title put on something or some type of a actual perception, a full-blown big picture ideology of something. This is personal predictions for the 21st century. This is what the card looks like upright. And it is, obviously, it just comes with the deck as the top card, but I use it as the title card. So you may be losing the title to a house, a car, some type of a deed on some piece of property. And that is actually more so a perception that you've got at this moment rather than a reality is also what is coming through. I'm not sure why that would be, but I'm going to get 4 cards for you guys from this deck, and then I'll switch decks and do some clarification. Blah, 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 blah. You might not be able to talk. I'm not sure. So distant galaxies, it just also seems like this is something that was kind of a far off maybe idea, a conglomerate of ideas that you might have had. And comet came out in reverse as well. So we've got distant galaxies in the upright. And I'm just noticing that, obviously right here, there seems to be a concentration of light emanating. So you might have had gotten a signal or potentially had an incident where you felt enlightened or some type of an illumination of something in your life that seemed far off but also feasible. This little tiny other galaxy there seems like it's kind of peeking its head around the corner. But that might be something that you're not really feeling like owning at the moment. It might be something that you don't want to talk about, that you're not really wanting to invest a lot of time in, that you're not able to invest a lot of time in or actually invest money or energy into at the moment. And because of that, you might be seeing things as more of a black and white, having 2 perspectives. This also looks like a pair of spectacles to me for some reason. I always see it like that for, this looks like an eye in the very middle. So you might have been investigating perhaps a purchase that you want to make of something like that, and it's just not something that's currently going to happen. The 4 forces of perception came out next. So I am just saying, when you're looking at deep space like this is oftentimes what a nova looks like, or some type of a birth of a star. A lot of things are happening, obviously, in this picture, but electromagnetic forces, things are either, attracted to each other, repelled from each other, or have a kind of a healthy distance that is maintained between the two. So I don't know how that actually pertains to your life right now, but it just might seem like, whatever this is here that you've been looking out for, or whatever intuition you've got about it, seems like it could have been either propelled forward, propelled away from you, or somehow is being kept at that 6 feet apart, healthy distance. So in any case, last card out was the comet, which is transition. And if there is no transition at the moment, that definitely means it's reiterating everything else that we've already seen here. So it's just saying, although there may have been, there's multiple different galaxies here, whereas with this comet, it's just traveling through space and time by itself. It is red, so you might be upset about this. Might be something that you were wanting to invest in or wanting to actually go ahead and, I'm also just seeing, you know, a speck in someone's eye, a twinkle maybe in someone's eye. Maybe this is something, a love situation, could be, where you're feeling like you can't necessarily move towards somebody, something, a situation that you were looking forward to moving towards. And I don't know if that's going to be something permanent or not. That would have a lot to do with your own perception and the actions that you decide to take towards that from this point forward. Also, really interestingly enough, we just got we have a blizzard, huge blizzard going on outside. So we just got a blizzard warning where we're not able to travel at the moment. And so just to keep ourselves safe, that's not something that we're able to go towards, is outside destinations at the moment. That could be part of what you are experiencing, since we are in Denver, Colorado. Or it could just be something more so having to do with, you know, being able to transit or change a situation. So if you're wanting to go ahead and, you know, flip this in the upright at the moment, it just might not be possible until this becomes a reality or a possibility for yourself. So you guys will know how this is relevant to you. I am going to go ahead and get some clarifiers, and we'll see what else I can figure out. Okay. I'm going to use the Rider-Waite Tarot deck to get some clarifiers. I'm going to do 2 for each of these cards. And then depending on how long or where we're at with this video here, excuse me, I just kind of like rolled out of bed and decided to do this. So in any case, we'll see what we can add from the potentially animal cards or angel deck or something like that. So let's see what we can get for the intuition. Sorry, I had them out of order. All right. So for distant galaxies and intuition, please, let me get some clarifiers for Cancer. Okay. All right. So it looks like someone may have been working with an air or with a earth sign, or potentially against an earth sign. We got the 5 of Swords in the upright, as well as the King of Pentacles. So King of Pentacles is usually a Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. I'm going to try to remember to tell you guys which signs are popping up, but because I read more intuitively, then sometimes it's kind of irrelevant. Okay, so somebody is not accepting a title, or somebody is not actually wanting to, okay. This card was flipped here, so I'm going to take it. Let me just make sure nothing else is flipped. Yep, that was the only one. So someone is not wanting to accept that somebody is not working together with them, or not actually working in a third-party situation. Typically, this does have to do with like a love situation, work, or you know, something a little bit more in terms of action. But let me show you what we've got. So for distant galaxies, then it looks like, you know, either somebody has been kind of stealing from your vision, stealing from your ability to be a King of Pentacles, which is somebody very, you know, he's got a lot of money, he's very secure, he's into luxury, he's a very down-to-earth guy who more or less is just very comfortable in his position as king. So I don't know why I'm hearing I just can't wait to be king coming out here too. So you might be feeling like you were looking forward to a victory of some type, especially if this has to do with business. Not to say that you were stealing quite physically or literally, hopefully not. But it also might have to do with the fact that, you know, this man is looking back at 2 people who are injured in the background, and he's looking really smug. He's got 2 knives over his shoulder and then 1 in his hand. So typically knives have a lot to do with words. In this specific case, because it is have to do with intuition, I think that, you know, somebody's actions, words, or lack thereof could have potentially caused a distancing in your world, in the way that you perceive the light being emanated from a specific idea. And I'll just give you an example. Sometimes we've got these kind of ideas of grandeur in our head about how things could play out. I want to make this beautiful picture. I want to use pastels, crayons, and markers. Okay. And because of the way that the pastels and the crayons work together, maybe the actual overall end product there is not something that is going to be as beautiful as I expected, or I can't bring the idea that I had in my head into fruition. So, excuse me, rather than being able to own this beautiful piece of art as the way that in the way that I wanted to be able to, for example, you might be feeling resistance. So not being able to accept the fact that it doesn't look exactly the way that you had wanted it to look here as a glowing future galaxy full of ideas. And, instead you're going to have to kind of work alone at finessing this change to happen so that you can get that. It might be something where, you're feeling like you can't work together with other people, or maybe the mediums that you were, looking at in this idea in your head are not as compatible, like I said before. So because of that, you might need to decide to just work with markers and pastels, or just work with pastels and watercolors or something like that. It could just be a revision. This could be a revision of an idea that you had to work together, or someone else's idea that you were working off of or from. That might also be why that Five of Swords is popping up there. Either way it goes, this just seems like it's not panning out the way that you thought it was going to. So let's go ahead and get you some more clarifiers for these last two cards. For the Four Forces of Electromagnetism and Perception, please. Ooh. Yeah, it looks like someone's walking away rather disappointed or unfulfilled by whatever situation was at hand with an Empress, potentially. The Eight of Cups denotes that you've got all these cups of emotion here. All of them are full of different kind of sentiments that you could have had, whether good, bad, or otherwise. It's something that you've invested in. Eight, obviously, also kind of infers or implies that you've, I don't know why, but I'm just also hearing like eating well. This Empress right here is a force of her own. She is a force to be reckoned with. She's into luxury. She's got everything that she needs. She's got beautiful fabrics at her feet, dressing her all around her. She's able to kind of give birth to a whole bunch of different ideas or different walks of life that make people happy typically. You see all that yellow here in the background. And because this man is walking away from the situation that he's perceived as being a dead end at the moment, this could be kind of a secret endeavor that you had in mind. Maybe you had an idea to do something for someone or somebody, someplace, something, and you had to walk away from that in order to keep your luxury, or you can only give as much as you can, especially with perception. When you're perceiving that something might have been less luxurious than what you originally intended on it being, sometimes you walk away unfulfilled. I'm just also seeing movie theater. Sometimes when you're at a movie and you've been looking forward to a movie for a really long time, and you've been wanting to enjoy the movie as maybe a sequel, prequel, or just standalone as it is, and you pay $8 for the movie, and rather than the movie being what you thought it was going to be, it actually is, you perceive it as being something a lot less, or maybe you perceived it as being from the preview or from the trailer there, you thought it was going to be a very life-changing movie, something that was going to actually become one of your favorites that you'd want to add to your home theater collection. And instead of feeling that way, it looks like somebody is walking away from the situation. And Cancer, you'll know how this applies to you. I'm just giving you small examples of how these things could be applied in real life. And overall, it's an overall picture of intuition that was not pictured in the right way, or not claimed in the right way for the perception to be able to transition back and forth. Transition in reverse with Comet. I'm just, you know, the comet, obviously, you can think about comets as being asteroids, like Halley's Comet or something like that. But you can also look at the comets being, you know, a calm system that is entertaining to some people or not. So if that's not something that you're able to actualize for yourself, if that was something that you were doing, it could be very frustrating for you. So I got the Seven of Wands as well as the Five of Cups in reverse. So Seven of Wands is really defense, 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 defense. Somebody is trying to stand up for the right to kind of transition this comet or to experience transition via the comms. And I think, you know, this is the card of crying over spilled milk. So instead of crying over spilled milk, it looks like you're trying to defend whatever lack of transition is going on right now. If there's not going to be a transition of power, if there's not going to be a transition of perspective, if there's not going to be a transition of, you know, you've got this speck of dust in your eye and you can't get it out, obviously you're going to continue to try to rub your eye and defend the fact that your eye hurts or that you want the speck of dust out of your eye. And instead of walking away crying over spilled milk, there are multiple different ways to get a speck of dust out of your eye. You could use eye drops. You could, you know, obviously scrub the eye with your hand. You could try to have someone blow, like open your eye and blow on it for you. I'm just giving you examples of ways that this could be defended, even though it looks like it could be kind of a painful transition or something kind of, I mean, disappointing you at the moment. I'm not sure what that would be, but also keep in mind that this is just a very far speck of light that is being seen from outer space, you know, that we can see comets as they're passing the Earth or moving through the solar system in any way. And it's usually a beautiful thing to see. It's a lovely thing to witness. But at the same time, we don't want to actually be in the path of that comet because it would destroy the Earth. It would just hit us and blow us to smithereens. So just like I was saying before, you want to defend something, but you're also not going to walk away crying over spilled milk over anything. It doesn't seem like it's either here nor there to you at the moment, outside of, you know, just wanting to defend your stance or your position. And, you know, the comet or the transition, it could still take place later. It doesn't mean that it won't. It just means that for the time being, this has definitely been a challenge for you. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see, we're at 18 minutes right now. I can go ahead and we'll get some unicorn cards just to see if we can get clarifiers or some advice for the future on how to deal with this. The Empress card, the people I have on the table right now are Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, or a Libra. The Empress is typically a Libra. It could, you know, possibly be another air sign, but usually not. Usually it is a Libra. So can we get some advice, please? I'm just going to do 3 cards for advice since we did a 4-card spread. Advice, please. Okay. So there is a number 24, prompting, came out in the reverse. So call a friend today. Might just mean that you need to leave things alone for the time being, especially if your intuition is telling you that there's not really going to be anything positive coming from this. No real intuition that's going to help you with whatever transition it is that you're trying to make at the moment. You might just need to stay to yourself a little bit. And like I was just telling you, we did have that, that emergency alert came out saying, you know, stay at home, don't go out, and don't do anything in particular. And then laughter in the reverse. So this could be more of a serious matter for you. It could be something that you were really looking forward to, but that is not necessarily a funny thing to have missed out on. Sometimes if you have to, and then the Archangel Raphael came out in the reverse as well. So there's these cards here. And Archangel Raphael says healing and abundance are coming to you. So you might feel a little bit at a loss at the moment. Like there is this is no laughing matter, that there is no healing or abundance coming towards you. And that you're not able to somehow transition into the laughter. That you would like to experience that kind of luxury, but at the moment you're needing to walk away from, going ahead towards healing and abundance, just to kind of take a moment and defend your stance. So I think that's all I'm going to do for today. I will definitely look forward to seeing you guys next time. And I hope this actually wasn't the greatest of read, but I do hope that you guys are able to go ahead and electromagnetically shift yourselves a little bit towards something a little bit more positive. So anyway, talk to you later. Bye.